It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the business owner of a sports network called Notoriety Sports Network. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be on here.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start up your own sports network?
Yeah, just going through the industry, starting out as a journalist and working my way up. Just doing more and more, knocking more things off the list. Working up to being a reporter, doing on the field reporting updates, whatnot, interviewing multiple people like Lamar Jackson, Drew Brees. I mean, the list goes on, just knocking things off, basically, moving up. And, I was getting more to the higher roles and stuff. And just the way that the sports industry is, man, there's a lot of politics and whatnot of how people operate. And, loyalty really just doesn't exist in the industry. And I wanted to change that and basically build eventually a global brand that is really based off of just being something special and everybody being a family and growing into something special.
What are some of the things that your sports network offers?
Well, we're basically the entire full spectrum of sports. I have live shows, breaking news, unprecedented content. We got my right-hand man and business partner is a Guerrilla Marketing Agency. He brings, next generation graphics and whatnot, just to deliver content that people, don't really deliver anymore. And we have now started to launch our locations, and it's NSN Philly was the first location we launched, and now Florida. And basically those locations will cover, the sports in those locations itself to hit market by market as we eventually get into all 32 NFL cities and hopefully do a national takeover.
Can you talk about, of course, do you have sports podcasts on and blogs or just podcasts?
We have multiple shows. We've got, we're pushing almost 20 shows on the network, from Florida to Philly to Indiana to the mothership page, all together. And then I have a team of about 15 journalists that is pushing out articles on the daily. And I actually currently have done the breaking news. That's how I mostly built my brand and my name until, just the recent months. I've took some guys under my wings and they've started doing that. And we've got all there is to offer, man. There's nothing that a sports network could offer that we do not offer.
What is the process of being on your sports network?
Explain that a little better.
Like, for example, with me, I have a sports network called Hall of Fame Network, and they just have to send me like a message saying that they want to be on it, and then I'll look over them and that kind of stuff. What is your process like?
So as far as like a show joining our network to bring their show on, there's a whole bunch of different things. Either someone is stuck, doing what they're doing for so many years, and it's all about their end game, what they're shooting for in the end. Are they shooting for, do they just want to enjoy what they do and or love what they do and enjoy doing it, with basically no progress as a career? If that's the case, then most people are doing what they want to do. A lot of people just want to progress. They want to, either be known or just turn this into a career and whatnot. So they reach out to us. Basically, we see what they have to offer. And if it's a situation that we feel like we could put the technology and the money into their show to make them next generation show with graphics and whatnot, and basically if they if we can make them a top tier quality show, then all the pieces match, then we partner up.
Of course, whenever it comes to getting people, are you the ones, like, let's say if they want a producer, are you the ones to get them a producer, or is that on them to get them a producer?
You mean as far as if they're on our network?
Yes. So, like, for example, let's say Brandon Sports Talk was on your network and he's like, hey, I need a producer to produce my shows. I can record them, but I need somebody to produce them. Is that you who find somebody, or would it be like the person?
All of our shows are is on a live stream, so we use really whatever any live streaming service you want, StreamYard, Restream, any of that. As far as producing goes, we will make your we will give you the content to, as far as rebrand your logo, the introduction, outro, graphics, all the visuals that you would want. But as far as producing the actual show, none of our shows, is depending on what you mean by producer, none of our shows actually have a producer. It's it's kind of just a roll with it. StreamYard and those types of services, StreamYard, Restream, all that allows you to produce it pretty well. But it's like I said, as far as like giving you the production, as far as the intro and everything to touch base on that exact show you're doing and stuff. Yeah, we do all that, with all the next generation graphics and videos and whatnot. So.
Who are some of the podcasts that are on your network?
So our biggest one on Florida would be Alkek. He's the Alkek Show. He's actually on 102.5 The Bone, and it's a it's a very big show down there. He's interviewed guys. The last few shows have been Steve Young, Doug Williams, the first African American quarterback to win a Super Bowl, and then over on NSN we've got it's more of a different kind of view it as far as a sports podcast. When it comes to the sports podcast, we that's real specific, we like to put those in a location. As for like Philly, we have the NSN Philly show, Birds of Broad Street, Phillyverse, all that's that's all about Philly sports. And then so when it comes to NSN, we've got what's called On and Off the Field, Strikeout Beer, To Be Blunt, and it's just a bunch of different it offers a bunch of different things kind of mixed with sports and stuff. So
Do you have any podcasts out in the like North Carolina area, like Charlotte, Raleigh, that kind of area?
I don't believe so. We do have a lot. I'm not sure where everyone actually lives. Their exact locations and stuff. I go more off of the content and whatnot, and then we don't any that refer to those actual location of sports. But so.
What is something that you learn now that you didn't know before starting a sports network?
Man, I've reread that question 100 times since you sent that, and that that was really a hard question. But a lot of people struggle with the punches. I mean, they struggle with the negatives that come with trying to have a business. And I've trained myself that we've only got one life, so it's the only thing that's going to stop you is you. So I've never really had time to kind of sit back, relax, and assess a situation to where I can really realize what I would know differently now, because it's more about just rolling with everything that comes at you and just keep going. I mean, you're the only person that can stop you.
What are some similarities and differences between Notoriety Sports Network and, of course, like ESPN and your bigger sports networks like that?
Well, like a lot of places like to call it, it's kind of on the fans' opinion. But I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's a fan. So like Skip and Shannon, Stephen A. They're all fans. but they are more so, sometimes you question if they're saying, what they truly believe in, if they're being coached and, because they gotta get the views. And I tell my guys all the time, I'm asking you to be the exact opposite. I'm not asking you to be something you are. I want you to be comfortable. Because I've actually produced and actually created shows from the ground up with people who have never had a show that I scouted the talent and I thought they would be perfect for the situation. And I told them, be who you are. Like, this is a family. I'm Notoriety Sports Network is my home, and everyone who's a part of it is basically a part of my family. And I'm not going to ask someone to be who they're not. I wouldn't ask you to do that in my home, so I'm not going to ask you to do that there. And it's just letting people, if be who you are, and just ESPN and them. I don't feel, we all know that obviously you can't exactly do that. And as long as we remain professional and there's obviously boundaries you can overstep to be who, like I said, be who you want to be. But Notoriety Sports is everything, man. There's nothing that you can't there's nothing we don't offer. I mean, it's we have just on Facebook alone, we're pushing over 20,000 on the Notoriety Sports Network Facebook page. And then we've launched locations as far as NSN Philly, NSN Florida, NSN Indiana. And as far as if someone says basically what is Notoriety Sports Network, all I'm going to say is stay tuned. We're coming to a city near you, so you'll hear about it.
That's wonderful. Of course, with Notoriety Sports Network, do you offer like NFL, NBA, and NHL content?
The full spectrum. I mean, NFL, NBA, NCAA, NHL, MLB, UFC, MMA. If it's sports, we talk it. And I had a guy come to me a while back about lacrosse, and he was like, "I'm sure you don't want this." I said, "It's a sports network. There's a market for everything in the world, but as far as sports, we're sports, and there's a market for every sport out there in the world. So there's nothing that I would ever turn away. It's a sports network, man. I want to offer everything that anybody in the world could possibly want, and that's what we give people."
What is the process of getting onto your sports network?
I mean, to get onto it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends on what. I mean, there's
So
some
for example, let's say Brandon Sports Talk wants to get on to Notoriety Sports Network. What would I, as Brandon Sports Talk, have to do to get on to Notoriety Sports Network?
It's all a process, man. It's I'm the only scout there is, so it's all about me scouting talent. And so basically when I scout talent, it's just it's a different process. But when people reach out to me, man, it's really basically just the way we do things. And having to do live streaming. We do YouTube, Periscope, Facebook. We're launching to the digital side as we speak. And if they're willing to do all that and do it on video, there's a few things we may ask people to change. Like, we may ask you, hey, you have to get a green screen. We may have, if it's someone by themselves, we may ask you to get a co-host. It's just different tweaks, and make sure that, again, like I revert back to earlier, as long as someone's still their self, and they can agree and understand everything that I'm asking to make you the best that that I believe you can be, and that you believe you can be, then there's not really a set process to doing it. It's just all about how we can work together.
That's wonderful. What advice would you give upcoming sports networks looking to get started, just like how I did with Hall of Fame Sports Network?
Repeat that first part.
What advice would you give upcoming sports networks looking to get started, just how I did, as I have my own sports network?
Well, the first and foremost, make sure you have an end game. Make sure there's something. Make sure you know what you are after. And with that being said, don't go in it for the money. It's a very bad thing to do. It forces you to make bad business decisions. It forces you to ruin relationships and everything like that. But once you can get past that, decide what you want your end game to be. I mean, do you want to just enjoy what you're doing and make a little money if it comes? Do you want to end up just being able at the end of the day to just interview big names and whatnot, and not use it as like a full-time income, or do you basically, like with me, I'm 27 years old, and I'm hoping by the time I'm 30 this is $1 million brand. And the way the blueprint's laid out and the way progress is being made, I see nothing stopping that whatsoever.
That's wonderful. Where can my listeners find, of course, Notoriety Sports Network at on social media?
Facebook, we have Notoriety Sports Network. We have NSN Philly, NSN Indiana, NSN Florida, and again, we're coming to a city near you. Don't count your city out. We will be there. You will know about us. If you don't find us, we'll find you. And everywhere else, it's at Notoriety Sports, and that's on Twitter, that's on Instagram. We've launched TikTok. We're just in the process of being everywhere, and at the same time of making sure we are currently everywhere, we're making sure I'm making those next moves. I'm actually in negotiations with about 5 or 6 different locations right now, looking to build the rosters there, and you're gonna find us. Even if you don't want to, you'll find us.
That's wonderful. Thank you again for your interview, and best of luck with Notoriety Sports Network.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on, Brandon.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at @talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again for your interview, and best of luck.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.